Hello and welcome to another episode of Schnozzcast. This is Bob, joined by my witless chums. Cory Schnozzcast, how are you?
Oh, hello and welcome back, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Todd, how the hell are you doing, sir?
Damn it, we're going around.
I am tasty, bitch. How are you, Bob?
I'm doing good, Todd. Thanks for asking.
Witless?
I wasn't sure if any of you guys would catch that.
Oh, I caught that. Like an alley-oop dunk in March Madness, baby. I caught that right from the beginning.
I can't remember what cartoon that was from, but somebody used to use the phrase witless chums all the time, and something that I saw this last week reminded me of it and reminded me of how much I love that phrase. So I had to work it in. It won't be an every week thing, and it's not personal.
Well,
it's just
it shouldn't.
It's just a tasty turn of phrase. Hey, if you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. If you're returning, then God damn it, we thank you up and down. And if you want to catch us out here live, you could do that each and every Saturday, roughly 9 p.m. Eastern time. And hey, the roughly part means get your ass over to YouTube and subscribe to us, and that way you don't even have to guess. It'll just tell you. Schnozzcast is live now. And if you want to go back and catch any of the other hundreds and hundreds of episodes that we have, you can go about to any of the streaming services. We're available everywhere. If you want to let us know what you think about the show, or you've got some questions for one of the three of us or the group you want us to talk about in the air, then you can email us at schnozzcast@gmail.com, or you could text us. Well, not text us. That'd be really crazy.
Bob's number is 248.
You can DM us on Instagram. And let us know right there. Follow us on Instagram and keep up with all the new episodes we put out each and every week. And that, boys, is the housekeeping for the week. Good to be back with you guys, though.
Great to see you, man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, how was your... Oh, yeah. Uh-oh, more contact problems?
Okay, excellent.
Why are you going out to the car? So why are we going out to the car?
She's going to try to drive for a little bit and see if she could do it with one eye.
Why are you going outside, though? Oh.
Are we in the show?
We're going to start the show here in just a second.
We'll give you an explanation. 1 second.
Yeah.
So everything's good?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. How many fingers am I holding up? Excellent.
It should burn a lot.
I told you, rinse it underneath the faucet.
No, it's the contact on my eyeball.
No, I know, but before you put the contact in, you rinse out your eye with water.
But I would have makeup on one eye and not the other.
But you'd be able to see. Yeah, well,
Not that important.
not that important. Yeah, in Cliff Notes version, Danielle's contact popped out of her eye, folded itself in half, and then put itself back in
Whilst driving.
whilst driving. So she had to hold on to it and put it on the top of her water bottle, and then came back in looking for, as you would, contact solution. I don't wear contacts, never have, but my kid does. The problem is he doesn't have any solution that doesn't burn the fuck out of your eyes, which she found out when she put it in her contact in that solution. So we had to sacrifice, sorry, Jack, one of your contacts to get to the mother's milk of contact solution that was in the container in the one a day.
You might be able to save it, though.
Doubtful. Doubtful. I mean, maybe I'll ask him, but you know.
Put it in that container.
With the solution that's left, yeah, it's worth a shot. Worth a shot. Since there's $75 per contact.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
So yeah, Todd,
Is that Todd sleeping?
That's what we were talking about.
All right, story done. Yeah, no, it was good. Lexington, Kentucky for 5 days. Lots of basketball, lots of booze, lots of local eats. Which leads me to what I'm drinking tonight, which is Cougar Bait, American Blonde Ale from Country Boy Brewing, which I assume is, Georgetown, Kentucky. So this gives you an idea where my head's at tonight. Cougar Bait.
That's basically
Cougar
what you
Bait?
are, isn't it? Cougar Bait?
I am Cougar Bait, 100%. Silver Fox, as they say.
As some say.
They is a unknown, unnamed number of people.
Silver fox, gray bitch. Tomato.
What else can I tell you about the trip? The neighborhood we stayed in was like a...
Oh, that's my bad.
Whoop.
Gotcha.
All right, starting over. Starting over. What else can I tell you about the trip? The neighborhood we stayed in was a demilitarized zone. I don't think we did a great job of scoping it out before we. Oh, the problem was we had rented an Airbnb for all of us to stay in like 10 months ago. And then with less than 3 weeks left before the trip, the owner canceled on us, claiming that there was a conflict on the schedule, and then refused to talk to us at all. Well, so we're out the money. So we had to get 2 separate houses. That's all we could find. They were like a block and a half apart, and had to split the group into 2 parts. But because Capsa was the only one, the house that we were in was separated into like a front part of the house and a back part. And me and Capsa were supposed to be in the front. Capsa never stayed there. So I had the whole place to myself. Walked around naked every day. Didn't even bother to shut the blinds. And just gave Lexington a good look at this cougar bait.
Well, that's disturbing.
Yeah.
You're lucky you didn't get redneck freaking.
As we like to call that here in Michigan, Todd, we call it redneck rape. Whoa, wow.
What do we call it?
Redneck raped. Yeah.
I see what you're doing too. You're trying to go for the episode title real early.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm not gonna lie. I would probably not use that one as a title.
Yeah. I'm on
No,
your side.
I was just that was just me speaking from the heart, Bob.
Yeah. So saw a lot of basketball, but probably less than we could have seen because we just couldn't. So we went to Rupp Arena, which none of us had ever been to. And when you buy tickets for an arena, it doesn't tell you what type of seat that you have. And because we were in the upper bowl on the corner, we had like bench style seating as though you'd gone to see like a Little League baseball game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Metal benches and shit. And so by the time you get to the half of the first game you're watching, you know, your butthole is -4 degrees and you're like, I don't know if I could stay here for 4 fucking games. So, but I don't want to be the one.
Wait, with nothing to lean back on either?
No.
I mean,
the knees of the guy
Basketball's
behind
indoor, though.
Yes, it is.
It's indoor. Why is the seat so cold?
I didn't build Rupp Arena. It doesn't make any sense to me.
They cool down their benches, Todd. There's an AC.
Liquid cooled metal benches.
Bob's got a tender taint.
Listen,
got a tender taint.
You know it's not just me because I did not want to be the one to say anything and cause us to leave the game early since all of us paid to watch 4 games that day. It was 2 back-to-back games and then like a 4-hour break and then the last 2. And we made it through the first 2 games and everyone was like, yeah, I think we're going to go back to the house for the other 2 games. And I'm like, really? Are you sure? I love basketball.
Well, at least you didn't have to be the bad guy.
Right. Right.
My taint's not dented.
Ooh, hold on. There we go. Sorry, you said something, Todd, and I missed?
Nothing.
He was talking about your taint again.
Oh, well, let's let that's another possible episode title.
Bob's taint?
My taint, yeah.
Bob's taint.
Bob's
ticklish taint.
Tender
taint. Yeah.
Tender taint.
Yeah. The only other thing I could say about the trip, apart from the fact that the booze and the food were really good, is that I noticed while we were in Kentucky that everywhere I went, every restaurant, every bar, everyone, including the basketball games in the arena, I would see like a good-looking younger woman.
Oh boy, here we go, Todd.
Walking like.
Hang on. Hold on. Hang on.
Yeah.
Did you just say sometimes you'd see a good-looking woman,
younger woman,
sometimes a girl?
No, I didn't say girl.
I think that's what you just said. We'll have to rewind that back.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do it in post. And they were walking with or hanging out with an older guy, like old enough to be their father.
And here's where the ideas started flowing, Todd.
Maybe it was their dad's. Maybe it was daddy-daughter basketball dates.
Yes, that is exactly what I thought the first 5 or 6 times that I saw it. And every time after that, I'm like, this can't be it. Because inevitably there'd be some holding of hands, or if they were in a pub or a restaurant, then there might be some close talking to the point where you're like, you're getting way too familiar with that younger lady.
You were in the South, Bob.
Well, yes, I was in the South. I mean, if you call Lexington, Kentucky the South, but I do. it struck me probably halfway through the trip that, oh, that's just how it is in Kentucky. Like May, December romances where there's like 20 plus years of age difference between the woman and the man. And it's the man always who's the older one is just acceptable down here. It's a thing. And just like me, if you guys ever get to that age and you're like, I want to try, I'm tired of ladies my age. And then apparently Kentucky's just the place you got to go.
I was like, that dad's licking his daughter's ear. That's weird.
There was nothing. It would have been easier if there was something so outrageously public that where you go, oh, clearly. But there was never. It was always like what is going on with those two? I don't get it.
It sounds much like my tranny visit in Miami. My tranny story.
I can definitely say that they were all actual biological women that I saw.
No, I agree. I get you there, but I'm saying
Yeah.
I won't tell the story. I want to try and one up you, but I think I remember telling you the story. I was in Miami once, and I was at a bar, and I'm sitting there drinking a beer. Met another guy, and we're sitting there. And we're like, "There's something weird about what's going on here," because it was all these well-dressed older men with these incredibly hot younger women.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like after about 3 beers, kind of the glaze came off, and it was older, well-off gentlemen with a bunch of transvestite women. It was like a hookup bar / restaurant for that sort of thing, and like all the women looked amazingly like women, but like after about 3 beers, we were able to figure out they're not women.
I mean, and that might be a really good explanation for what I saw if it was all contained within one bar, but this was like everywhere we went. So a little something,
and that's
for
why
the kids out there.
That's why Bob's moving to Kentucky.
I did think of like if this was ever my bag, like that's just what you.
If it was ever,
just what you'd have to do.
Yeah. If I was ever interested in a younger woman that was insanely attractive, then maybe I'd think about it.
Take away the hillbilly twang and put in a French accent, and Bob moved there tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah, that's probably you may be onto something there.
Todd,
I have a sucker for a French accent.
You want some sweet tea, honey?
Is that your French accent?
Todd, when I showed up today, Bob had his laptop open. He stepped outside to smoke real quick, and he was looking at real estate in Kentucky. So don't let him fool you.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Bob, I'll never ever visit you if you live in Kentucky.
But I could buy the place that I stayed in for probably $100,000.
Probably.
As you noted, it was in the demilitarized. So. It
was in a walking back from one house to the other at the end of the night at like 12:30 in the morning was I was walking pretty briskly. I thought about getting an Uber to take me a block and a half.
It was a de-trailerized zone, is what he was. I think what he was meaning to say there.
Tornado target.
There was a house across the street from the house that I didn't stay in. The other one that was kind of like the central place, like where we would all go. So like I would wake up from my house, get ready, pack up, and I would go over there and just hang out for the day. The house across the street had a shopping cart on the front lawn, and they also had a generator running all 5 days that we were there.
Well, that's what happens when they turn your power off, Bob. You hook everything up to generators.
Yeah.
See, all you would have to do is trade in some Sudafed for cold beers, dude, the whole week.
Yeah, but those beers, man, what would that have been?
Oh, I'm
Speaking of beers,
hooked you up.
What are you drinking, Todd?
Dude, I have a new brew that is outstanding. It is Cosmic Dreams Hazy IPA by Aslan Brewing. It is really, 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 really solid, man. Not too hoppy, not too citrusy, just right. We're fantastic.
We're not a beer review podcast. There's plenty of those out there, and a few of which that we follow and we consider friends. But I got with the amount of beer recommendations that you make every weekend, there's got to be a way that you can reach out to these manufacturers and get us some sponsorship. I mean, even if they sent you like a case of beer twice a year.
They should do that.
Yeah.
Jerome, make it so.
Oh, the last thing about the trip. On the way down there, we stopped at a liquor barn, which are lousy throughout the South. And generally we do that to pick up, copious amounts of booze. Everybody's got their tastes. A lot of the guys are looking for bourbon, some looking for whiskey. But while we were there, I ended up taking a picture of what they had out by the checkout and sending it to Cory and Todd, and it was a keg of Fireball that you could buy.
So I did request that you buy both of those.
Yeah.
I see they're not here.
Yeah, I did not.
But Kelly Corner,
Do they have it?
They have them as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Isn't it like $70 or something like that?
I didn't even look at the price, to be honest with you.
The only reason why I didn't do it was because I think 2 or 3 of the last years that I've gone on this trip, I have bought, whether it's a bucket of Fireball shooters or whether it's a couple of fifths of Fireball, whatever, bought it and ended up trying to get the guys to like join me in shots, and everybody's like, nope. And I just ended up coming home with a bunch of Fireball. So I'm like, I don't need, nor do I have a place for a Fireball keg in my house for a whole week after I get back.
Ugh.
But I thought about it just for you, Cory.
Oh, I appreciate the thought.
Yeah.
Hang on, buddy. You're frozen.
Are we doing a shot?
I'm frozen?
Yeah.
You want to work on that while I get the shot?
Yeah, Todd, it's a one-man show for the next
Sweet.
2 minutes.
So I can hook up my shot today. Is going to be the original Backpacker Moonshine, dark chocolate cherry moonshine is what my shot today is going to be.
Sounds amazing, Todd.
I know. I can't wait to taste it. Speaking of which, I'm not having it for this episode. In an upcoming episode, I found a beer that I thought had been discontinued. That is one of my favorite beers, nostalgia beers of all time. We were talking about our red, white, and blue and Falstaffs and all that other stuff. There was a time, even when we didn't have any money, that it was nice to drink a really high quality beer. And it reminded me of Jack drinking the champagne of beers, Miller High Life.
Yeah.
But I found the reintroduced one of the greatest beers of all time, Bob. I'm not having it now because it's not cold yet, but it's in the cooler. Michelob Amber Bock, baby.
Oh,
is back.
yeah. I remember
Michelob
that.
Amber Bock.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I didn't even think that they made it anymore.
But yeah, that was a go-to drink for me for a while. Many, many years ago.
Yeah.
All right.
They should
Cory,
definitely sponsor us.
For just for the fanatics out there, the Cory files. What are you drinking?
Oh, well, so my 2 go-tos, I did actually switch it up this week and went back to my Bud Light hard seltzer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're doing Fireball and Jack Fire.
Jack Fire. That's right. So Todd, that delicious sounding shot that you rattled off, go ahead and raise a glass. To anybody out there,
I got it.
please join us. Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Ooh, it's like candy, baby. It's tasty, just like me. Oh, that's good.
Just to get done with the banter stuff that's uncategorizable in any other segment. A couple of episodes ago, we did an existential question, and the question was things about me that make no sense. And, we all went around the table. I can't remember what my answer was, but it was pointed out to me quite strenuously after the fact and very judgingly.
Vigorously.
I gave the wrong answer, and that the answer I should have given was my love for the show Below Deck.
I never would guess who pointed that out.
Yeah, well, if you're not familiar with Below Deck, it's basically a reality show about people who work on a luxury yacht as either the chef, the stewards, the bosuns, the first, second, third mates who have to clean the boat and entertain their luxury rich guests. And I got addicted to the show for quite a while. Have seen probably more seasons than I'd feel comfortable admitting. But the thing about it that fascinated me the most was that it's just the fact that they have to film everything on the boat, and that it's most of the show is these folks actually doing work. And the dance that they have to do to get their job done in in such tight quarters on a yacht, as well as with their fucking rich, snooty, bitchy, high maintenance guests trying to fuck it up the entire way. So that's the thing about me that makes no sense. Just wanted to correct it for the record.
I have 3 cousins that do that.
3 what?
3 cousins that do that for work.
Okay.
One's a chef. He's traveled all around the world. And the other 2, I don't know if Jen still does it. I think she might have found another career path. But she did it when she was younger and wasn't married. And my cousin Kate does the same thing. And I think she still does it.
Okay.
Yeah, they go out to sea for months at a time and just take care of these boats and what needs to be done on them. And they've absolutely loved it. Like I said, I know my cousin Peter's still a chef, and that's what he still does currently. So like he'll be in for 2 months, and then he'll be like, "Oh, yep, got another job," and he could be gone for anywhere from 3 to 5 months and just cooking on a boat all day, every day.
Yeah, and I just found it fascinating, and that they're seeing all sorts of amazing sites and locations, and
they said that's what they absolutely love. Like they're like,
we're in Ibiza again.
It's the best way to travel the world and get paid for it.
100%.
So and too, like I mean, they do get their time off and all that. It's not like they're working 7 days a week straight. When they go into port and all that, like that's their that's their time to have off.
Yes.
And after being cooped up on a yacht for who knows 2 to 3 weeks, once they get in port, they said that things get
well, that's the beauty part of the show.
Pretty crazy.
Below Deck is the same exact way. They work for like 4 straight days, and then on the 5th day, where like their guests have gone offshore for the night to do some local, activity or something like that. The captain gives them the night off. They got to be back to the boat by a certain time that night. But it's just like as soon as they leave that boat, it's like 100 miles an hour to the bar, and then drinking as though you're never going to drink again. And there's a lot of, because it's a soap opera, really. It's a reality show. So there's all sorts of like people hooking up with the people they've been eyeing like down the galleyway all episode.
And don't get me wrong too. I all 3 of them have said, because obviously we've talked about it like at family events and all that.
Yeah,
like it's dramatized a lot.
Sure,
for the show.
Yeah.
But they're like a lot of it is very true, and there's stuff that happens, and
they're all young. They're all probably, well, I don't know.
Now Peter's
but he's the chef, right?
He's the chef. Yeah.
On this show, every season the chef is always the oldest one on the
boat. And that's apparently that's one of the hardest positions to get on any of those yachts.
I couldn't.
Absolutely,
because
makes sense.
Because you really have to be able to cook your ass off and make.
Yeah.
You got to have range, and you got to be very specific for people with discerning taste. I don't want any shit food on my cruise.
Yeah, and these are rich people who are like, I want these 5 things that don't go together in a special meal. And you have to have, like the last time you were in port, you have to have sent people off to the grocery to get all the things that in their intake form these guests have said that they prefer in the meals, and then make them. And it's not like normal people
the way that
in
they
a
like
restaurant.
them as well.
Right. Yeah, they're gonna beat you up.
Yeah, you can't just cook a bunch of medium well burgers if people wanted, if they're fans of rare burgers or well done burgers. Yeah, you can't just be like, well, here you go, and that's what you get for the $1.2 million you spent for this trip.
Yeah, it seems like every meal they serve has to be amazing. And I would think that, I don't care where you work or what you do as a chef, to make every meal that you've ever made, to have someone say that's the best thing I've ever eaten, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but again, like I said, he's been doing it for so long that he's like, oh, it actually becomes easy to knock it out of the park. Because he did say too, a lot of people that are spending that kind of money, like they want these lavish meals, and he's like, most of them know, what fancy dinners are, or, what a fancy, type of food is. He's like, but they don't know how it's actually cooked or how it's actually supposed to taste. He's like, so
exactly.
He's like, as long as
I was going to say, and just because you're rich doesn't mean you have good taste. I mean, our president loves well done steaks.
Yeah, so he's
with
like
ketchup. Yeah,
so
Jesus.
yeah, he's like he's like
So-
he's like once you kind of get the feel of the guest, like if they do actually know food, he's like then you're in for a rough time. But he's like for the most part, he's like as long as you can make it look fancy, and make it taste decent. He's like most of the people have no clue what actual good food is, and he's like he's like it's almost like cooking in an Applebee's.
Extra
Right.
butter and an extra bit of salt, especially if the clientele's people not very deep in melanin. Their spice, their spice knowledge is fairly low. I'm painting with a very broad brush here, but not that I could be a chef on a boat, but I feel like that would be a cool gig because you got to be on top of your game, but
Right.
it's not that hard to impress the Uber elite, especially being that probably 90% of them couldn't cook an egg if you paid them to.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no!
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have chefs likely that do that for them every day,
yeah. So if you can make
Correct.
some decent looking scrambled eggs that taste,
like scrambled eggs.
good scrambled eggs, then
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not that hard to impress.
I think that's
those
probably the
guys.
secret of just being a good chef is being able to cook a lot of the normal things that people love very, very well.
Yeah, and yeah, not screwing it up like Todd said. Yeah, I'm sure most of those people have never even touched a pan or a spatula of any sort,
Yeah.
and they have no clue what they're doing. So, and the third thing being is as long as you bring it to them and it looks pretty, they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, they're gonna be like this.
presentation.
This is a presentation
That's
that
a
got to
huge
be
part of it as well. Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
If it looks pretty, they're gonna be like, oh, this is a great meal, and it could just be again simple scrambled eggs with some
Right.
parsley and some garnishes on it,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, this is the best food I've ever had.
Right. But you made it look like an electron on the plate, and they're like, holy shit.
Yeah, this is why I'm
I
paying
don't
that
even want to eat this. This is so good looking.
This is why I'm paying that $1.2 million for this vacation.
Well, thank you guys for letting me recap the trip. Missed both you fuckers, but glad to be back. And,
I missed you a ton too. Corey said something about you not coming back ever.
You are so lucky you beat me to that.
I listened to that episode. I had to listen to the whole thing to publish it on Friday, so I heard everything.
And you're so lucky that was the part we were still echoing too.
Yeah, well, I still heard it. I
know
just didn't publish it.
I know you still heard it.
Yeah, it just didn't make the published version. That's all. Yeah, I'm on to you,
Good,
bitches.
good.
All right,
Good.
Moving
Good,
on.
good,
Let's go into TT's TikToks.
Are you ready?
I love that graphic.
Are you ready?
It never gets old.
Are you ready?
I'm like, does Cory just have a giant beard, or is he like enveloped by a cloud of weed smoke? What is that?
Little bit of both.
Yeah, could be both. Could be neither. All right, sir. Floor is yours.
All right, you're gonna have to give me a second here because there's a couple things.
God damn it.
Dude, well, I'm trying to make the best of our viewing experience so you can see Todd. I'm trying.
Well, let me see what else I got. Let me
I'm
see what
trying-
else I got.
I'm trying to do a lot here, buddy. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Oh fuck, we're doing agreement tonight, aren't we?
We better be.
Agreement.
Because we all watched our shit, right?
Agreement.
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful. All right, so just as a teaser for the folks,
I didn't say anything.
because if you're following the show, the last time that we had an episode in which we did agreement was, I think, 2 weeks ago. Cory and Todd did not get an assignment, so they got one middle of this week, and they watched it. And it is, in case you're interested, Cory's going to give us a review of The Righteous Gemstones, that classic Danny McBride show on Max.
Mm-hmm.
And Todd's going to do Legends of Hockey, Greatness Calling. And knowing what a hockey fanatic Todd is, I can't wait to hear that either.
So now we're good for TikToks.
Excellent.
So this first
Thank
one
you
was,
for the preview.
To kill time.
was actually sent to us by our own Todd Dillon. It's
Does it need any explanation?
not really.
Yeah,
but
I'm looking at it going, but it's probably self-explanatory.
well, so there's a guy out there that his page, he basically just does voice overlays to animals and animal interactions.
This
Animal
is-
antics.
This is a total Todd video.
So here you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, I'm sorry
Yes.
for slapping you for no reason. Can we shake paws and forget about it?
Something wrong with you.
I know. My doctor said I got cat ages. When I see a cat, I just want to slap it. But I'm trying to change. Shake my hand.
That's all right. You crinkled up 2 of my whiskers when you slapped me.
I'm extending an olive branch.
Back up. You within slap me distance. Your paws pack a punch. You ain't hitting me again. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get far away from you and your olive branch.
You ready to play rollerball? Are you? Yeah, why you asking?
Look at your face. Are you constipated or something?
I'm actually feeling pretty good right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't tell. You look scary.
I'm looking scary. I'm smiling.
Are you smiling on the inside? Because you're not smiling on the outside, bro.
Am I smiling now?
Nope.
Remember the other day when you said you was sick of this life and you were tired of being here? I mean, things get hard inside and I'm going to help you go. Just let it happen. Let it happen.
Hey,
Don't fight it.
sure.
Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Don't struggle. Just let it happen.
Hey, bro, I was just playing, man. The hell wrong with you? Sorry, man. My times. Bitch, I don't want to die. I'll just be on some raccoon shit, bro. I'm right there. That's why nobody like y'all weird ass.
Oh, that's 100% Todd. That is like the quintessential Todd video. But I gotta say,
It is.
We're all such consumers of social media that a lot of times someone, either Cory or you, will share a TikTok, and one of us has already seen it because that shit just goes, once it goes viral, like we're all going to see it. So I love seeing one that's actually number one, actually funny, and number 2 that I have not seen before. Whoa.
Sorry.
That's okay. That might have been a perfect soundtrack to what I was just saying.
Segue. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so all right, we'll do this one. So, as we all know, Todd has chickens.
The hell you say?
I know.
Actual chickens?
Actual
I
chickens.
do.
How does he transport them?
Believe it or not,
How does he transport those chickens?
in his helicopter.
Yeah. What would that sound like?
I have too much. There's way too much stuff going on right now for me to have that up.
Damn it. I thought
Push
I
the
was going
button.
to get him.
Push the
I
button.
thought I was going to get him. You got to send me that drop, and I can. We can. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone here, Cory.
There we go.
I can play from the mixer too. Anyway, so you said Todd has chickens?
Todd has
Dillon?
chickens. Todd
I do.
Dillon has chickens. He also has 2 big ass dogs.
Okay.
And
Big ass.
The other week, last week after we did the podcast, Todd was nice enough to share a video of one of his dogs checking in on the chickens, the little tiny little baby chickens
chicks,
he's got.
yep.
Wait, so this isn't a true TikTok. This is a home video, basically.
No. So then it sparked something in my mind. I'm like, I've seen something kind of similar, but this dog. And so because I asked Todd, I'm like, do you let the chickens like lay on your dogs? Like, he's like, yeah, we're not to that point yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to come across Chewy the chicken daddy,
Oh, no.
who's a proud chicken father. Look at this. There we go. And
Oh,
this
boy.
is how he is with his chickens. Dude, tell me that isn't one of the cutest things you've ever seen.
Yeah,
in
Todd,
your
there's
entire
no way
life.
your dog would sit still for this shit.
Uh,
He'd have a full belly full of dead chickens.
I don't know. I don't think he wouldn't eat them. I think I'd be more concerned if he'd just stand up and step on them. I think them walking all over him would kind of freak him out.
Yeah,
That is one chill dog.
Oh,
Is that a Roddy like yours, or is that a different?
that's a pit bull.
It's a pit bull. Okay,
That's a pit
never
bull.
mind.
Yeah.
I saw the head the size of a car battery, and I just assumed.
Yeah, dude, this dog does not care what's it. There's literally 13 little baby chickens jumping all over him.
So I
pecking at
assume
him.
he just loves to. I don't know anything about the background of this video, but I assume he just loves to hang out right outside the door of the chicken coop.
Oh yeah, he checks on them every day. Like I said,
So Bo checks on the chickens with me every day. He's part of the feeding and egg collection.
Yeah, but this
plan
guy's
every
taking it
day.
to another level, Todd, where he's offshored all the duties to the dog, and he gets to sit back and sleep in. You got to get to that point.
He's like, Chewy, go out there and take care of the chickens.
Yeah, chop chop.
Yeah. You should. So Corey, you should have though, since you showed that video, you should have teed up the video I'd sent you, because I think that while mine is not the same, mine is equally cute.
Let's see. Did you send that directly to me, or was that?
Todd's always got some shit to say about the videos you play. Like, it's not as good as the one I have.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Those were not the words. I'm just saying. Mine was also super.
Well, maybe you need to step up your game, Todd. Just send him the videos and include a little text.
I should have sent it.
Play this or else, bitch.
I'll make it a TikTok and send.
Play this or I'll kill you.
Wow.
Take it to the next level.
To the next level.
All right, hang on. It might take me a second to find that. So in the meantime, so you guys all know who Casey Anthony is, correct?
I do not.
You don't know who Casey?
It's Carmelo's sister, isn't it?
I don't think I do.
I thought it was Carmelo Anthony's sister,
the brother of Van Halen's bassist, Michael Anthony.
Yeah, Michael Anthony. Yeah,
yeah.
No,
or Jake Gyllenhaal's third cousin,
or maybe Mark Anthony's brother, who used to be married to J-Lo.
Well, then I don't even know if I should play this, because if you guys don't know who Casey Anthony is, then the joke's not going to go over that well.
Oh, she's related to Anthony Mackie, right?
Yep. Okay, not playing.
Yeah, I legitimately don't know who that is.
Okay, never mind.
It doesn't mean I won't laugh, but
no, it's very person specific.
To him?
To Casey Anthony?
Yeah, is Casey Anthony not the name of the comedian?
No, Casey Anthony's someone that killed her daughter.
Oh. I can see how that would be hilarious.
I remember her.
Yeah. Well, Bob doesn't. So again, the joke could be very lost. So
that's all right.
I won't even bother.
All right. Yeah. Let's stick with hockey.
Is it for Bob's entertainment?
Well, apparently not.
Well, yeah, but if only two of us are going to know the joke, then
we should be playing to a fan base that we have who might actually enjoy it.
I would hope so. Exactly.
All right,
that's what I'm saying.
Let's do this hockey one, and then let's maybe give the Casey Anthony their shot.
All right. So this is just it's a funny hockey video.
To me, I think the puck's in the net.
You have to watch the back left corner.
The video's not up.
Yeah, you can see both his pads are behind the
video's
red
not
line.
up.
So he's
hold on.
a long ways.
We'll do it again.
I'll restart it.
Yeah.
To me, I think the puck's in the net.
So it's two refs discussing a potential non-goal.
Proves that definitively.
Yeah,
and there's a fan
both his pads are behind
trying
the red
to
line.
pass a $50 bill through to the refs.
I wasn't aware that the price to bribe a ref was only $50.
$50, I know.
Yeah,
that's like being that they're going to lose their job.
Yeah, that's minor league shit. It should be at least a couple hundred, I would think.
Yeah, at the very least, especially
minor
since
league.
It's on camera.
Pee-wee.
No, well, okay, yeah, that's fair. So if that was Todd Dillon sitting behind the glass there, what would you be handing over? Five hundo?
I don't bribe refs.
But if you did, play along, Todd. This
not in my lexicon.
This is a yes and podcast, sir.
I can't even imagine.
You can't. You should imagine. That's exactly the challenge that I laid in front of you. Imagine how much money you would pass through.
If I were that kind of creep,
yes,
hundreds of thousands of dollars. Though.
Hundreds of
big, yes, like big freaking wrapped
like
bill.
Like we just robbed the bank in heat level amount of cash.
Todd's trying to shove a briefcase through the plexiglass.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a Jackie Brown bag of money, the likes of which they've never seen.
Dude, so
that would be it.
That would be kind of funny just to get some because you can go on TikTok now and buy fake bills that are used in movies and all that. Just to get
or you could take a couple hundreds and put a whole bunch of ones in there and then wrap it all up.
That too, but I'm saying just to get a briefcase full of fake $100 bills.
Yeah.
And take it to a game, and then anytime something like that happened, just open it up behind the glass. That would definitely, if that went viral, then the briefcase full of cash would definitely go viral.
I love how Todd got incensed when I'm like, dude, we're an improv podcast, we're a comedy podcast, like you should play along, like just give me a fucking number, and he comes back so strong with hundreds of thousands of dollars. An outlandishly high amount of money,
billions,
just to shut me up, so I won't ask him about it anymore.
I'm not a briber. Not in my life.
Clearly, you're doing it all wrong.
Paying for tail. Who does that?
if you showed up with a briefcase with $100,000 in it, you might have just bought the entire Stanley Cup playoff series with that money.
The refs are always looking behind the bench. Like, where's
that
guy at?
That chicken millionaire that we keep hearing about. All right, we're going to give the Casey Anthony bit a try?
We're going to give this a shot.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Enjoy.
Casey Anthony, the woman who drowned her 2-year-old daughter, allegedly, and was somehow found innocent, posted a video recently. Gross. And in the comments of that video, people are talking about how hot she is still. Gross. I don't know about you. I don't trust a damn thing out of that woman's mouth. So as soon as I saw that video, I muted it. I closed the blinds and grabbed some lubricant. But the point is, I don't trust her. It's the first 3-minute video I finished in 40 seconds. I'm not proud of it. It's gross. No, I'm joking. I didn't jerk it to Casey Anthony. That's what she would have wanted. Just a keyboard with a pool of dead babies, you know.
Oh, wow. Okay, now listen. Okay, so that was Drew Lynch, the comedian.
Yeah.
Listen, I didn't remember anything about this story, but the beauty of this clip is he explains it all. Like this, you don't need to know anything about Casey Anthony to laugh at this clip.
He did a pretty good job at that.
Yeah. So I don't know why you were. I think this is an old clip that you watched once upon a time, but you forgot what it was about because you would have been.
No, I just got it. I just got it the other day, but
but you watched it. There's nothing about that I wouldn't have understood. Unless I needed to have remembered what she actually looks like in order to find it.
She is very attractive.
Oh, I assumed.
So there you go.
If you like that kind of, if you like murderous women.
Yeah, if you're into murder. Listen.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Right. We must say that. Alleged murderer. All right. Todd, you you told me that you have a grievance for today.
I do.
Now, let me kick it off then with some music.
The Festivus begins with the
music is with quotes.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it. As a rain blows upon him, I realized there had to be another way.
Love it.
It was destroyed at the Festivus.
All right, sir.
Yeah, thank you. This has been a long time coming. It's still fresh in my mind and fresh off my trip to the hospital. And thank you for asking. I'm recovered. My grievance is with the manufacturers of dog poop bags. I think the time's come for more regulation in this industry because when I open up a little roll of dog food bags and I stick my hand in, I'm expecting just a level of quality so that when I open it up and stick my hand in to pick up my dog's sizable poo, that there will be a closed end at the other end that I'm sticking my hand into and not actually going to go through the thing. So let me tell you what happened to me. My dog took a poop the size of a Subaru Legacy. And I went to pick it up and I opened up my bag. I had to get the one end. It's tough to get the one end open, get my hand in there. And I stick my hand in and I stick it in until I feel my fingertips touch the edge of the seam where I can go and now pick up this dog poop. I stick my hand down to pick up the dog poo, and I'm like thinking to myself, wow, they've like changed the texture of these bags because it feels like my fingers are actually in the actual dew. And when I looked, Cory, my fingers were in the dew. My hand went right through the bag, and I actually hand-fisted a big load of dew. And to my surprise, I opened my mouth and went, and as I was turning over this fresh pile of dew, there was a bug that flew into my mouth. I had to be rushed to the hospital.
Talk about a
I
volume
almost
of
died
unfortunate
that day.
circumstances.
I've since asked Jerome to file a suit against the manufacturer of said bad company because it almost killed me. And why must the flies actually get on the shit right away? I don't know. This is a dual grievance. The bag manufacturers owe me a little bit more. But come on, man. You can't fly into my mouth when I'm picking up a shit. That's my grievance, Bob. And yes, I'm recovered. That was a long ambulance ride to the emergency room. And yeah, it was very harrowing.
We're glad you're well and have made it out unscathed, at least as far as I can tell.
Well, I wouldn't say unscathed.
At the camera.
I was going to say clearly not unscathed.
Yeah, there's probably all sorts of bacteria living in you now.
Oh, my goodness.
But that's the story for another time.
And
dude, now though, as a safety protocol, when I'm picking up dog dues, I now wear a mask in my own yard. Can't risk it again. Can't risk it.
I think you should, like a big balaclava or something.
And I wear the Nitrex gloves too.
Next thing you know, Todd's me walking around in a full biochem suit out in his own backyard.
Yeah. Jerome, suit me up.
And Jerome's gonna be out there in a suit.
Yeah, why isn't Jerome picking up the dog poop?
Just carrying an umbrella around with Todd.
Umbrella. The beekeepers.
I try and be a common man. I try to be a common man, Bob, as best I can.
It never quite works, though, does it? You're just a step above the rest of us, Todd.
As much as I try to be a normal guy,
yeah,
I just have to be elite all the time. So Gina did say, hello, your favorite booger here.
Oh, is that fucking catching on now?
Yeah, boy.
Apparently it is, buddy.
Yeah, I refuse to use that term. This is meant for a production meeting in which we brainstorm better ideas.
I'm just saying. I think.
But if Gina wants to proclaim herself the number one booger, then
Gina's a keeper. Her. She's a keeper.
Yeah. Any other grievances, Todd, or is that pretty much cover it?
Dude, do you think that there needs to be any more than that?
I didn't think so. I'm like, that probably should cover the A to Z of it. But I want to make Cory dance for a little bit, so I'm going right into booze news.
And now it's time for booze news.
Son of a bitch.
Rapid fire, baby.
I got it.
All right, a couple of news articles here for you guys today.
But before we do that, Bob,
fuck.
You're the one that poured them.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I
Todd,
figured I'd be the one
days.
to judge when we're going to cut in, but that's fair. Okay, so brief pause, like car on the news story, and we're going to do another shot here.
Yeah.
Because we are a whole 45 minutes into the show.
It's been that. Yeah, it has been that long already.
Yeah, one shot.
Jesus.
Come on, what was this? Bush League?
Amateurs tonight.
Bush League stuff. Amateur hour.
I'm ready, baby.
All right, here we go. Hopefully our number one booger joins us in a shot.
She's trying to say that she said Superfan was better, but I don't believe it.
I totally believe it.
Nope.
I'm siding with.
She's my super booger.
Super booger.
I was about to say I'm siding with Gina, but she did also proclaim herself the number one booger. So
true.
I'm just going to go on record as being Superfan is fine until we think of a much better term than booger. Anyway, cheers.
Cheers, boogers.
Cilantro.
Oh.
Here's flicking you boogers.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Here's to putting you under the seat.
All right. So you guys heard about Joe Gatto?
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
So Joe Gatto, one of the former, some would argue the brightest star in the Impractical Jokers universe, who left the show a couple years ago, has been accused of sexual assault and has subsequently canceled the rest of his tour and checked himself into rehab, I assume for sex offenders.
Is there a rehab for that?
There's one of those?
Fuck yes, there is.
Huh.
David
What do they
Duchovny
do
went
there?
into that. He was been in those rehabs like multiple times.
They strap you into a chastity
Really?
belt and you can't touch yourself.
Yeah, they show you all sorts of porn, and they're like, "Don't look, don't look," and you're like, "I'm trying, but you're putting it right in my eyes."
That's what she said.
So wait a minute. And if that seems like counter to what the result you want, right? If you deprive them,
No, it's like
aren't they going to want it more when they come out of the?
there's a word for it.
That
It's
doesn't make sense to me.
you ever seen Clockwork Orange? I'm gonna assume the answer is no. If you're bombarded by video and audio of a particular activity for so long and under such duress that it becomes a thing that you fear. There's a name for that kind of therapy. I just can't remember what it is. I'm sure maybe our number one booger knows what. What's that?
Wussy therapy?
Okay, I missed the W at the beginning. I thought you were saying something else. Yeah, there's a name
I want
for
to turn
it.
into a wussy.
Listen, this is apparently a big problem if you're rich and famous and have all the money in the world to do whatever you want. I can only
Is this
imagine.
therapy for white people only?
No.
It feels like it.
No, there's plenty.
It
there's
feels like
plenty
it,
of
though. I
non-white
think-
people in those institutions, and it's really it's a
name
check.
one black person who's got a problem.
I don't have
touching
access to the attendance rolls, and that's really violating a whole bunch of HIPAA rules. I'm sure to tell me what that is and who's there. But let's just assume that it's not a whites only sort of an institution, and you're supposed to check yourself in, meaning like no one told Joe Gatto to go check himself in. He just determined that the best thing that he could do for his career is to appear to be working on the problem.
So
It
I was
feels like
unfortunate.
that's just a way to escape jail.
Potentially.
I was in the bathroom, but I could still obviously hear you guys.
Sure.
Todd, really? Who's one person of color? Have we heard anything about P. Diddy lately? I think he would fit into that category pretty well, buddy.
He's not gone to trial yet, and baby oil parties.
He hasn't gone to trial yet.
So that doesn't qualify?
Joe Gatto hasn't gone to trial
I cannot
yet
be
either.
mentioned along with Joe Gatto because I have not gone to trial yet.
Yeah, Joe Gatto's just been accused. He's not even locked up.
Yeah, there's no trial for Joe.
P. Diddy's in jail.
That's a whole other. That's another grievance.
That's not booze news. That's a grievance.
Yeah, run the grievances song back. Let's hear about how Todd thinks P. Diddy should be a free man.
Anyway, it's one of those situations where I only have good memories of Joe Gatto as being the really only reason to watch Impractical Jokers. So I wish him all the best. Hope he gets past this whole assaulting women thing.
Okay, did not go the way.
Cory apparently wants him to keep going with that assaulting women thing. But for one,
wasn't
say, stop that, Joe.
Was not saying
stop
that.
Stop it.
Was also
stop it.
Was also not wishing him my best.
Joe, I know you're watching. Stop it. Stop it.
Was definitely not being like, hey, buddy, it'll be okay.
Yeah, he just pushed through the pain to the other side, which I'm sure is nirvana.
Those charges will get dropped. Don't you worry.
There's no charges. There's no charges.
Accusations will get dropped.
Accusations.
Wow, man. Okay, no, we gotta stop. This is not.
Well, it's like allegedly. I don't know anything about the.
Yeah. Okay. Whew.
Anyway, yeah, definitely don't assault anybody.
Free Diddy Joe. And R. Kelly.
Free Diddy. Wow.
Yeah.
You're going to throw R. Kelly in there, too. Yeah. And again, thank you for proving my previous point, Todd. One of the other most heinous sexual assaulters on the face of the earth.
All right. To circle back around again to Fireball, who I'm sure everyone knew was going to make another appearance on this show, since we're still in booze news. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey is holding a contest now for a lifetime supply.
How do I enter? Where do I enter?
Only
it'd be a fifth for me.
It's only open to senior citizens over 90 years old.
All right, I can get some fake credentials.
Okay, get to work.
Damn, where are my great aunts when I need them?
Anyone born after 1935 qualifies. It's that they are saluting the 90-year
born
plus.
After or before?
Born after
1935. Did I say before?
No, after that.
You
that
said
would
after,
yeah,
but
that
we
would
were
qualify all
born
of us.
after 1935. Exactly.
Oh, so the article.
So we can join.
The article actually fucks it up. This is literally the quote. To win the prize, I'm reading this now. To win the prize, fans must be aged over 90. So anyone born after 1935.
It'd be before.
Before, yeah. Good catch.
And Todd and I are on our game.
Yeah. The initiative salutes the 90-year-plus legends who've spent nearly a century making memories, surviving life's curveballs, and keeping the party rolling. That's from
drinking
Sazerac.
shit booze.
Yeah. Let's not reward the people who buy Fireball weekly. Let's reward the people who are near death.
Oh,
basically praying for death.
Dude.
Yeah.
Both Danielle's grandmothers are in their 90s.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Dude. Have them enter.
Once we get done with the show, first point of business when Danielle gets down here, we need to talk to her about getting her grandmother's info.
Listen, anyone can offer a free lifetime supply when the only people who can enter are only going to live for like a year or two anyway.
Yeah, but okay.
It's super cheap. I mean, it's not like they're offering a lifetime supply to like recent college grads.
I'll make sure her grandma
People
lives
who just
for
turned 21.
at least the next 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't care what has to be done.
Get on it.
Like I said, I don't know how many days I have left, Bob, but a lifetime supply for me would be, I thought a fifth, but maybe even a pint.
A
would
fifth.
It wouldn't cost too much to make me the winner.
With Todd Dillon in mind, the last Booze News item here is New York. New York City. The Blade app has simplified the experience of chartering a chopper via Business Insider.
Yeah.
So pay attention, Todd.
Yeah.
It's so common among the Big Apple's elite that blading has become a verb. So people are actually going to work and taking a chopper rather than to take an Uber to get to work to skirt all the crazy traffic of New York. It's sometimes cheaper and faster. And the trips from Long Island and Jersey into Manhattan, avoiding tolls, parking fees, and congestion pricing cost $95. So Todd, are you offering a similar deal to your Seattle brethren who are copterless?
Copterless?
to get them to work for a mere $100?
I don't have the same scale that the Blade contingent has. So no, fuck those guys. Sit in traffic. Pay surge pricing.
The crazy part is apparently the same trip on a train costs you $3, but people don't want to take the train.
Well, yeah, because that's too long. That's for poor people.
Yeah, it is. Although you're really only dealing with the distance and not with tolls or parking fees or congestion pricing.
Right there,
delays and standing with the unwashed masses and the smells.
Yeah.
And the crazy people.
I want people who've listened to the show up till now, so like for the last almost hour, to remember Todd's earlier quote about trying to fit in with the common man, and sandwich that right next to the unwashed masses.
The unwashed.
Yeah.
The undertone there was unwashed hobos.
Yeah.
I want them to be washed.
That I can't bother standing next to.
I'm working hard to bathe all of you. Sometimes personally. Todd, I want you to tell me if this is a problem in your area, because apparently it's a problem in New York City.
Yeah, what's that?
In New York City, in just 2 years, the helicopter noise complaints have jumped from 3,000 in 2019 to 26,000 just a couple years ago, which is a 670% increase of people trying to say this is insane. It's affecting my physical and mental health. What's with all the fucking helicopters? And the city has tried to help by closing and restricting heliports. But the problem is that they can't really do that, and only the FAA can restrict air traffic, which I assume is the same for Todd's heliport.
So the interesting thing is, and this is true, Bob. I've been complaining to Mary for the last 2 years about how much additional helicopter and air traffic seems to be flying in and around our place. So
not counting your own helicopter.
It feels like not the same volume as New York, but the problem is on both coasts. I would say there's a lot of extra air traffic, and especially helicopters in this area. Because it used to be we would hear a helicopter maybe once every couple of months, them trying to rescue a hiker that got hurt on our mountain or something like that. But now it's helicopters going over all the time.
Well, sorry.
Oh, no, I just want to say, and Todd, even for you, which you lived in the Metro Detroit area, but maybe not in the same exact flight path. But yeah, people in New York just need to suck it up. You know how many years we had a beautiful pool in the back of in my parents' backyard, and we were directly in the flight path of DTW.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, you heard a plane every hour, 2 hours. It was like one every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And
so much so.
Well, that's why your property taxes
don't even
are
think about
low
it
and the
anymore.
cost. Yeah. Well, I was going to say in the property
It just
taxes,
blends into the background noise.
Well, and at a certain point, I'm like, you just don't even hear them anymore. You stop paying attention to it. And then when I moved out to Roseville with Danielle, we were sitting outside one night. I'm like, there's something weird going on.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, there's something happening right now that I can't put my finger on. And eventually I was like, holy shit, I have not heard a plane the entire time we've been sitting out here. She's like, why would you hear a plane? I'm like, because down in Dearborn. And then one of the first times she came and swam in my mom's backyard, she was like, Jesus Christ. She's like, how did you guys ever deal with this? She's like, this is the most annoying thing I've ever heard. I'm like, after so long, you just kind of forget about it.
Yeah, in the summertime when I would take calls outside on the patio, and my buddy SOB, he and I worked for Todd out of Massachusetts, and anytime he would call me when I was here at home, he'd be like, "What are you at the zoo? What's all that noise?" And every single time,
what the hell are you talking about?
But I remember on 9/11 when all the traffic stopped, and it was so startling that
that was really weird.
Anything anymore.
I remember our buddies and I were not to go too off topic here, but we were in high school and we had a half day that day, and we were supposed to have football practice, but that wasn't until 3:00, and we got out at noon or whatever. So we were walking through the woods in order to get to Outer Drive to get picked up, and we had no clue what anything had happened yet, because this was way before, cell phones that give you instant information and all that other stuff. Like, I don't even think any of us had even a cell phone at the time. And we were walking through the woods and we're like, there's something really weird happening right now. And like all three of us felt it, but we just couldn't put our finger on what it was. And then once we finally got picked up and, heard what had happened, and heard that all the flight traffic had been canceled, they're like, yeah, it makes a huge difference. But
it's funny you say that, Cory. I thought about that. Do you know how I found out though? Actually, so you're right. We didn't have smartphones back then, but I had a smart pager that had the news on it. That's plane flies into World Trade Centers. I remember that on my pager.
Oh yeah. The teletype pagers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy time. I can't believe that I lived through something like that. You grow up hearing about Pearl Harbor, World War II, and all these other, for America anyway, impactful events, like historical events. But until you're like, holy shit, we actually lived through one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad too now, especially now, like there's classes like dedicated just to 9/11. So kids that have no clue what it was, they don't know that it didn't happen, or they have some sort of sense of what the impact of it was. And like, so if they're already doing that for 9/11, then things like Pearl Harbor and all that, like that's out the window. Like there's going to be kids that when you talk about Pearl Harbor, no one's going to even know.
I mean, you'd have to, I think Pearl Harbor would fall into the big, garbage bin category of all of American history. Pearl Harbor, World War II, World War I, Civil War. I mean, if you don't know about Pearl Harbor, you won't know about any of those other things either.
I mean, I want to agree with you. I do. Yeah. But again, if there's classes being held just for 9/11, then that really kind of shows me like, well, then the other things in history are kind of going out the window.
No, I wouldn't say they're going out the window as much as like So I think I've told the story on the podcast before about, my kid was born, my youngest was born the day before 9/11. I think I've told that story before. And so he has no idea really of what happened on that day because he was far too young. But in the years since, like he and I have talked about it. But that's, anybody born after that or anybody who was young enough to really not understand what's going on, like they need to be, all the rest of us lived through it. So the classes are meant to bring them up to speed on like what exactly it meant historically and politically and economically and all of those things. But Pearl Harbor happened so long ago that there really isn't anybody. I mean, everybody's heard about it, known about it, studied about it. It's been talked about. All of the people that I think the fact that, a lot of the people, I won't say all because clearly there can't be all, but there aren't a whole ton of people left who, would have been of an age to understand what's going on while Pearl Harbor was happening.
No, and again, I agree with that point, but I don't know. It's something we could go back and forth with all day long.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I understand both your points, and
yeah,
like I said, even stuff that happened so long ago, like it shouldn't be lost on our youth by any means.
And that's a real worry that I have, a real fear that we should definitely not be erasing or removing access to history. Like the things that happened, and we need to talk about them. So because as the adage goes, if those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it.
Right.
Well, I think it brings forth an even stronger point. We also need to kind of get all the facts to bear, because remember, I think the one thing that is still, I think, relatively in dispute, even with the World War II and Pearl Harbor, is that there's evidence that we knew that there was going to be an attack on Pearl Harbor before that happened, and we deliberately sacrificed lives so that we could try out a new Oppenheimer weapon.
Right. And so, yeah, totally agreed.
But hold on. The Oppenheimer weapon was, it wasn't deployed for years. So it might have been in the planning phases, but if you're saying that we needed an excuse to enter the war because of it, I would concede that fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we needed an excuse to do something that we knew was going to be so potentially catastrophic.
Well,
the backlash for that.
I think the government. Well, we're getting quite far afield here from, but that's okay. I think that the government knew that there were definite potential benefits to the United States by developing, Oppenheimer's project successfully. Nuclear they had to know that it was an arms race, and the first one to get there was going to have such an advantage that it was worth, potentially maybe holding things back, or this is the age old argument. Like maybe it's to the detriment of hundreds of thousands, but it's going to be to the benefit of millions over several generations, and that's the kind of calculus that you have to be a world leader and comfortable with making those types of decisions to sit with it.
I agree. I think the thing is, though, I think we'd be much better off to, I think the point you were trying to make, share all the information when it's safe to share, give us the real deal so that people aren't making up and filling in the blanks on their own. Because ultimately the problem is when it comes out the way that it does, it makes people distrust the information that they get from whatever streams they get them from. And then we have a country where half of it gets its information from one place or another, and the other half gets from another place or another, and then we all fight with each other because none of us is actually getting an unfiltered version of the truth.
I thought this podcast was going to be about dick jokes.
Speaking
all of a
dicks,
sudden,
I know it got serious.
Last point I'll make on it, to circle back to Todd, what you originally said about the idea that, or I shouldn't even say the idea, the fact that the U.S. did have information about the attack on Pearl Harbor, or the potential attack. I mean, history did repeat itself fully because now things are coming out that have come out that the U.S. had a pretty good idea there was going to be some sort of attack on American soil. And so, yeah, again, and then to circle back to the original point of all that, the idea that, I don't care how far back, it goes. I think history should always be taught and, people need to be exposed to that stuff. Yeah, exactly. There's no need to hide anything or cut corners by anything and just give dates of when this or that happened. Like, people should know why it happened.
Or to not teach things that are uncomfortable for us. I think ultimately we can grow. We as people should grow based on our history and what's been done, even if it's embarrassing history.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely.
And to circle back on the original point of that, DTW need to change your flight patterns because Dearborn's been getting the brunt of this for a long, long time.
That is true. That is true.
Did we just do a successful triple circle back?
I think that might have been a quadruple circle.
Might have been.
Who knows how many circles?
Push the button,
ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first.
Push the button.
What button? He just keeps saying push the button, and all of a sudden I've got to go like.
Sure, that works.
That's a good one.
We quickly circled back to all that.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, it was an excellent quadruple circle.
Yes.
No, that's not. That doesn't apply whatsoever.
Oh, but this one's always a winner.
Chicken wing. Hot dogs and bologna, chicken and macaroni, chilling with my homies. I just sang
that's a pretty good all-purpose.
I just sang that to Danielle the other night.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
I sing it to the chickens. They love it.
I love it. You sing it to the chickens?
I do. They love that song.
Oh, see, Todd
coming in late with a potential episode title, Chicken Lullaby.
I need to come out there, sir. Todd, and we can both sing it to them. They're not going to know what to do. Their little chicken asses.
They will not know what to exactly.
Like, there's two people out here singing this beautiful melody to us.
All right, I'm going to reward Todd Dillon for that snappy comeback with going into 90 Second Sports.
90 Second Sports.
I don't know why, but the drops are sounding super quiet in my ears compared to the microphones.
They sound fine to me.
And I'm worried that now I've jacked up the volume on the drops so high that I'm really fucking up the recording.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
I can see the volume on it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's not pegging.
All right. Todd.
Are
there any sports going on?
Cory.
Are there any sports going on right now?
Dude, March Madness has not failed to live up to its name. Talk about just amazing competitiveness, amazing games, an amazing tournament. I'm sitting here watching Duke and Alabama throw haymakers at one another. Dude, this March Madness is one of the best that I can remember, man. Did you see just before we got on air, Florida came back to beat Texas Tech. And I think that helped my bracket because I needed it. And Texas Tech had a game won and then choked. And why am I staring at an empty chair? Thank you. Now it's back. Camera's back on me.
That was my bad. I was trying to fix something, buddy. I'm sorry.
That's right. No, this tournament, Michigan State, making it, advancing again. What a great Tom Izzo team. And I think they're going to give Auburn a run for their money. I think that Auburn team is good. And I actually picked Izzo to beat that Auburn team, but that Auburn team looks really, really tough. I think Michigan, they lost in a great game against Auburn. They ran out of steam. I think Michigan what a great season for them. They were supposed to finish in the bottom half of the Big Ten. They end up winning the Big Ten tournament, having a great season, and actually making a respectable run in this tournament. Amazing. Beating Texas A&M, beating who'd they beat before? UC San Diego. Again, and they showed up against Auburn, and they had a chance to beat them. Again, Auburn had too much coming off the bench, too much size, too much everything, and it just got away from them. But yeah, and this Duke, I think the next couple games are going to be amazing. I'll shut up for a second. It seems as if the cream is rising to the top in our 3-person tournament bracket tournament, and it feels like it's going to be Bob and I dueling it out for the bragging rights, because I think, Cory, I think your bracket is busted beyond recognition.
Yeah, mine is definitely screwed. I know that.
Where did it start going wrong for you, Cory? What was the game that you thought, well, I'm screwed?
Last night.
I'm trying to. So if you're not going to say anything, I'm looking at your bracket. I'm like,
it was Michigan.
Oh, you
Michigan...
had Oregon. You had Oregon beating Arizona, and you had Oregon beating Duke. Yeah, your bracket was jacked before we even started this thing.
Well, I was relying more on intuition and not basketball facts, Todd. And my intuition led me wrong.
Those Ducks, much like in football, they do great during the regular season, and they seem to stumble a little bit when the money's on the line. But I think
that's what's weird though too. I think a lot of teams that will place 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th seed when it comes to playoff time and crunch time, those teams don't do so well.
Well, I don't even know how to. I think. Well, here's the thing about the tournament. Mary and I talked about this a lot, and I don't think a lot of people know this. There's 68 teams that start this thing, right, with the two play-in games, but ultimately there are over 300 schools that compete in Division I that are eligible to go to the NCAA tournament, and the best 64 teams go there. And the beauty part of this, what I love about March Madness, is if the matchup is right, a low seed can lose to a high seed, or a high seed. So like a 15 can beat a number 2 on any day if the matchups just work out right. I mean, basketball is one of those weird games where it doesn't matter what conference you're playing. If your best player gets negated by another team's also ran player because they play great defense or great offense, then everything goes out the window and you can lose a game that you're supposed to win. And this tournament has been a lot of that. I mean, ultimately Texas Tech, I don't think a lot of people had them going as far as they did. And literally they choked today. They had Florida beat, period.
Yeah, that
story.
That was the game that I was playing when I first got here, and Bob gave me the rundown on that. And they made a hell of a comeback.
Yeah, it was less of a Florida couldn't buy a bucket in the second half, and the biggest issue, it's one of the oldest sayings in basketball: make your free throws when the clock is stopped. You get your points. And literally at the end, when it counted, Texas Tech missed crucial free throws in the 1-on-1 situation that allowed Florida to get back in the game because they couldn't buy a basket at all on the offensive end. They scored 5 points without in 7 minutes, but none of them was actually during real gameplay. One of them was that they dunked and it shouldn't have 2 points shouldn't have counted because the guy hung on the rim, and after they waited for a TV timeout to review it and then give him the points, 2 points even though he shouldn't have gotten them. And then they had a guy got fouled shooting a 3-pointer and he made 3 points at the free throw line. But other than that, Florida hadn't scored at all in the second half for the first 10 minutes. In Texas Tech, again, they didn't execute on the fundamentals of basketball. When the clock is stopped, your obligation is to score those points at the line. That's what I call them, free throws. They free points, free money. They didn't do it, and they got beat.
They froze and literally turtled up in the last 2.5 minutes of the game. That's Florida scored. They went on a 16-2 run, and I watched Texas Tech
play not to lose.
Clang off a 3-point play after 3-point play, missing the first shot out of a 1-on-1 multiple times, and I'm like, they're just trying to lose this game now.
Yep. Yep.
But most everybody that I know had, I mean, except for me, and I think Cory, had Florida winning everything. And Todd, you got Duke, right? Winning everything?
I have Duke winning it all.
Yeah.
I have Duke winning it all because but Sparty looks, the fact that Sparty can go so deep. And like I said, I'm seeing Duke.
Yeah.
Duke is the real deal. They're up 11 now against Alabama. That is as high. Who set records, by the way? If you remember 1990, Loyola Marymount set a record for 3-pointers in an NCAA game when they pummeled my beloved Michigan Wolverines. Alabama bested that yesterday or 2 days ago. Or in their last game.
I watched that game. I didn't realize they had set a record in the game.
Yeah, they beat Loyola Marymount's that run and gun. I think that offense averaged like 120 points a game. And for people who aren't college basketball fans, the college game doesn't score like the NBA game where 100 points are rarities. And Loyola Marymount back in 1990 was one of the first teams, kind of the run and gun, where they ran a lot of fast breaks and they took a lot of 3-pointers and they scored a ton of points. And they beat a lot of teams, including Michigan.
Yeah.
And that was a record that I thought might never fall. And the fact that Alabama did it in the course of regular play, their last game, was amazing. And Duke is handling them.
Well, so I am leading our Schnozzcast bracket at the moment, and I am third, I think, on my March Madness bracket. But the only reason for that is that Sparty hasn't lost. I have Sparty winning it all, so I'm basically going for broke. I mean,
yep.
I'm either going to win huge or I'm going to lose gigantic, and it's going to happen probably tomorrow. Well, no, probably Thursday. But
no, I think if Duke, because I think I have Duke. I have Duke, and do I have Duke and Sparty in the final game?
I think I've got Duke and Sparty, and I just have Sparty winning, and you got Duke winning. But the other reason is because there've been so few upsets in the game. I mean, and this is the thing that, you know, if I watched basketball for the whole season, I watched as much as I could, college basketball that is, and I knew all the players, I did all my homework, then at least I'd be in a position to be able to predict with some degree of accuracy the upsets. And I just can't do that. And the fact that I picked so few upsets, I picked a few. And I think I'm probably 50% of my upsets. But the fact there have been so few of them is the only reason why I'm ranked so high right now. In any other season, any of the last like 4 or 5 years, there would have been so many upsets that I would have been out of it by now, for sure. But that's
well, again, I'd have to look to see if there's more or less this year. I'll have to do the math on that. But I mean, ultimately, did you pick Drake? 100%. How'd you do? Because you picked Drake to beat Missouri?
Well, now I'd have to pull up my bracket.
Because there's 11 versus 6.
What were the upsets I picked? I mean, I don't know that we have the time here to. Was Drake in the East, South, West? Where was Drake?
They're in the West.
They're in the West. Okay. Drake against Mizzou. I did pick Drake.
There you go. That's an upset.
Or no,
upset.
Nope. I didn't. I picked Mizzou and they lost. But then I picked Texas Tech to go as far as they did.
Yep.
I picked them to go as far as losing to Florida in tonight's game.
See, and I had Drake beating Texas Tech. Texas Tech surprised me. But I figured out. So I looked at my bracket, Bob. I have Florida beating Sparty. So Florida versus Duke. So you and I are definitely in a dogfight for this
Oh,
thing.
yeah. So, right. I mean, we'll see how it goes. If I win, I'm going to feel bad because I know you know way more about basketball than I do.
I don't know.
We've bet no money on this. We've bet no money, as far as I know, or did we?
Well, this is for bragging rights, and
bragging
you know
rights,
that I'll be hazing
right.
Exactly, and I'll be hazing the both of you if I win relentlessly.
Oh well.
So
on behalf of Cory, if you lose,
be on TT.
I will by proxy to Cory give both of us permission to haze you for the next year.
You should, and you should.
Yeah,
as well. You should.
Speaking of hazing, we got a shot sitting here. Todd, pour yourself one. This will be the last shot of the night. At least possibly might be the last shot of the night. We'll see how much longer we go. But
these shots are so good, but I hope that it is because I don't want to be.
While you're pouring it, we're gonna jump into a gentleman's agreement and play the music and do the artwork and all that other shit.
Gentleman's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement.
Look at that throwback artwork.
Agreement.
I know.
Oh, it's the motherfucking gentleman's agreement.
All right. You got your shot pour, Todd?
You know I do, brother.
All right. Here we go.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, everybody.
Salute.
Woo.
That is so good.
Oh, good boy.
Yikes. Ooh.
See, I've been pouring you the Fireball, but I've been doing the Jack Fire.
Ooh. That one got me.
I don't want to hog your Fireball.
I appreciate it, but that one got me a little good. A little good.
Delicious.
All right. At the risk of knowing exactly what the response is going to be, Todd, do you want to explain to the newcomers to the show what Gentleman's Agreement is?
Oh, I'd love to, Bob.
Holy shit. Go ahead.
Oh, next week.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that, bitch. I'm going to clip this out, and I'm going to put it on the button, and I'm going to play it. All right, if you're new to the show, Gentleman's Agreement is not a segment that we do every week, so it bears some explanation. Essentially, if you've ever had a friend, and you're like, man, I just watched this really good movie, and I want my friend to watch it because I thought it was great, and I just feel like if they watch it, they think it was great too. Well, that's what this is. You have to watch a movie or a TV show, and then assign it, not because you hate it, but because you liked it and you think that your co-host is going to like it too. So we each take turns assigning each other movies or TV shows. You have to watch it and then come back and give a quick spoiler-free review of that thing. And once we're all done, we'll do new assignments for next time, and then it'll be, roughly weeks until we all watch our shit again and we come back and report back to you. So I generally start with Todd, so I feel like I probably should go to Cory here. Cory, you had to watch The Righteous Gemstones from Todd.
Yes, sir. Wow. Where do I even start?
If this was something I signed to him, this would generally not be a good sign. I would be very worried that I was going to get a shit review.
I'm already worried. I'm worried.
So, Todd, I will say I'm a little. I shouldn't say a little. I'm very disappointed.
Jesus, this is already rough.
That it took this fucking long for you to assign me this, because I don't know how I didn't come across it myself.
Yeah,
you can just go fuck yourself right in the ass with that comment.
What? I was
because I'm not a fan of this misleading thing that you have a habit of doing.
I was being truthful.
No, you weren't. You were doing a little.
I'm disappointed.
This is what the magicians call misdirection.
Well,
yeah, you're not good at it. I smell it from a mile away, and I don't appreciate it.
Call me David Copperfield, I guess.
I love it, David Copperfield. I'll take it.
Well, who's the magician that died tragically? That's what I'll call you.
Harry Houdini.
The great Santini. No,
I'm sure there's a lot of them.
I think it was the Count from Sesame Street who had a tragic outcome to one of his magic acts. Anyway, keep going.
So yes, dude, I don't know how this did not come on my radar at any point. It's a 2019 movie, so we're already series. Sorry. Yes, it is a series. And the cast alone, John Goodman, Adam Devine, Danny McBride.
Danny, yeah.
Dude, like it's one of the greatest casts that I've seen in a series. The opening scene alone, I was like, because I really didn't know what to expect.
The freeze frame on that guy's junk.
Oh,
that didn't freaking floor you.
Trust me, there was a lot that did, but like I said, just that opening scene with so to give an overview, it's those characters or the actors I just spoke about, they're evangelicals, and it's the whole series is basically just poking fun at evangelicals and televangelists and but also at the same time, there'd be like 10 minutes of a hilarious scene and then 10 minutes of a very serious scene. And that's how I see the series going back and forth. That's what continues to happen. And it's great. It's written very well. And it's, like I said, that opening scene in the wave pool in Japan or in China, in Hong Kong.
Oh yeah.
Where they were trying to do a 24-hour baptism, and someone tried videotaping something, and it got all out of control, and then the wave pool got turned on, and that
Is this a spoiler for your review that you're giving?
Yeah, because this is literally the first 30 seconds.
All right.
But then, seeing the cast of, they tell you right up front, who's in it. And when I read the description, I didn't know if it was going to be like a documentary kind of thing or, what it was going to be. And I watched 14 episodes today.
Today?
Today.
This calendar day, the 29th of March?
Starting at 9 a.m., I started watching episodes of it.
Did you have to work today?
I did.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a win, Bob. That I already knew what grade to give myself.
Man?
I know what grade to give myself.
I was about to say I wish I had a job that paid me to watch movies, but then I thought about it and I'm like, you probably shouldn't say anything about that.
I was going to say, you want me to go into that? Yeah, exactly. So let's just cut that off right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I mean, it's I don't even know what to say. It's so funny, but then again, things get very serious, and then you kind of get in a different mode of like, oh wow, like I'm really interested in this plot now because people are sad, and there's actual family conflict. But then the next scene, you're like, oh my god, what the hell is even going on right now? So yeah, insanely well written. I mean,
Danny McBride is coming into his own as just a writer and just the fact because his contribution is greater than just his acting in it, which he makes me laugh. Period.
Oh, dude, he's Eastbound and Down, another hilarious series, and he makes
Indeed.
it. He's the one that makes that series, and but yeah, then when I did see the credits, that Danny McBride was the creator of the show, and one
of the main writers too.
Yeah, he's a brilliant talent, and like I said, I think they knocked this thing out of the park. And I don't know how it didn't come on my radar until you brought it up to me. Even when you texted me the name, I was like, I didn't even know where to begin to think. I was like, okay, yeah. And then I finally looked it up. Like I said, I'm like, oh, it might be like a documentary kind of thing. And then once I started playing it, I'm like, holy shit.
Have you seen it, Bob?
I have not.
Oh, Walton Goggins is in it as well.
I love Walton Goggins,
dude.
I've previously professed my love for Walton Goggins on this show.
His dick scenes are hilarious too.
Oh, and I heard. Oh no, I'm thinking about a totally different series. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah. So there's 4 seasons. I think 36 episodes in total.
Is this the last season? The 4th one?
Yes.
No, the 4th one is the last season. I'm
Yes.
still on.
Like that's it. They're done.
I don't know.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
I mean, it started in 2019.
Well, I mean, sometimes depending upon the network, depending upon the show,
it can take a little while.
Yeah, it may take 2 or 3 years between seasons.
But yeah, I'm on season or episode 2 of season 2.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's 14 episodes total I watched today.
30-minute episodes?
Nice.
No, actually, the first episode was like an hour and a half.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out exactly how many hours today you spent watching this show.
Let's
too many.
From 9 a.m.
Let's say 8 hours
until I got here at 8:30.
Let's say 8 hours.
Were you watching it in the car on the way?
No, God no. I had to drive here. Can't watch TV
But he would have.
in the car.
He could have.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I do,
all right.
I do all the time, but
shooting it over to Todd then.
So excellent pick, Todd.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
I wonder if Todd's going to continue the same glowing review trend that Cory set with his assignment, Legends of Hockey, Greatness Calling from Cory.
So Legends of Hockey, Greatness Calling, documentary. And I guess I'm not going to do any misdirection here. Cory, You get a solid B plus, A minus. It's on the borderline. What a great documentary series! At the spoiler free alert, it highlights some of the inductees into the Hockey Hall of Fame from the years 2000 to 2020. And if you don't know this about me, I am a huge hockey fan, but I'm a latecomer to hockey. I didn't play hockey as a little kid. I didn't follow hockey as a little kid. In fact, I remember this from my youth when
beating up various hockey players that I
turned an actual knob. Pardon?
I said, never mind, Todd. I just imagined you
I was gonna say,
pummeling hockey players whenever you encountered them.
No. But I didn't really have an appreciation for hockey because I didn't understand the game. I remember I had my first television set that I got in my room, a little black and white 9-inch TV. I'll never forget my first television that I had, and it got like 2 channels, 4 and 9. And channel 9 was the Windsor network, and so the Maple Leafs would be on there all the time, and so hockey. And I would watch, but I didn't understand it, so I never was a hockey fan. And then my hockey fandom began because EA Sports had a video game, NHL Hockey 94, that I became addicted to. And I started learning all the names of the players and playing the game and understanding the rules. And what was cool about this series was I really appreciated people like Paul Coffey, who's covered in the first episode, getting into the Hall of Fame. And it was sucky and scary to see that, like, Coffey, Messier, all these players that I know about them and how good they were. I only knew how good they were like when they were technically kind of over the hill. And then seeing what they brought to the game, ultimately, this series, even if you're not a hockey fan, this delivers real life lessons. Like, Marc Messier is a person that you should strive to emulate, and the people that he played with. I mean, they had the opportunity to play with the greatest physical talent that I think maybe ever played the game, in Gretzky. And they don't really cover Gretzky, and Gretzky's not interviewed at all so far as part of the documentary that I've seen so far. But you're floored by the fact that each day these people did things, no matter what it was, and no matter how repetitive, and no matter how hard it was or whatever, to be the best and at what they did. And they busied themselves with the practice of that. Like, again, I can't even imagine firing shots at my house with a hockey puck from sun up till sundown during the summer. And first, because black people would have murdered me for throwing something at the house, because black people didn't own homes to do that. But just the fact that the dedication that these people put in from such a young age, and then to see them play a sport, and then when inducted into the Hall of Fame, they were floored because it was so much about the love of the game and not the money, not the fame, not anything. I think I would recommend this to anyone. And in fact, I will be recommending it to my sister, who I know has no interest in hockey, just because I think some of the life lessons, and even my niece, because I wanted to show it to my niece and nephew, because I don't know if the uncle effect will carry any weight, but just the humbleness and the stick-to-itiveness, and then to see people kind of master their craft, especially when most of the stories start from the season, the 3 episodes that I've seen. What is really, really cool is most of the episodes start with these Hall of Fame hockey players going, when my dad or my mom first put me on skates, I fell down again and again, and I hated skating, and I didn't want to do it because I was the worst at it. And that's how their determination to just get better, and not be the best, but just get better. If all of us actually applied that to our lives in every way, we're never going to be good at the thing that we do today for the first time. But if we just give it a try a little bit every day, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. And this documentary shows when human beings do that, how they actually end up in the Hall of Fame one day, even when that's not their dream. That wasn't playing in the NHL. Wasn't many of these people's dreams. It was just a thing to pass time that they worked at getting better at every day. So I'll stop yammering. It's supposed to be a short review. Cory, I'm going to upgrade it, not a B+, solid A-. And the only reason it's not an A or better is because of the fact they don't give enough. I think that each episode should be dedicated to 1 to 2 players max.
Oh, hey, I'll definitely take that.
I didn't realize that you control that aspect of the show, Cory. Next time,
actually, not for nothing,
change the number of hockey players that covered each episode.
Not for nothing, too. I will say this: I was pretty proud of myself in the fact that in the 3 episodes I watched, there was only one player whose game I wasn't familiar with, and it was the one player who died, Danny Gillies. He wasn't familiar to me, but I knew the game and what made all the other people special, so I'm so excited. And not for nothing, I know that I'm going to get the people that I actually, when I was in Detroit, and not just Probert, but for a time, as you guys know, I was in an industry where I got to hang out with quite a few of these guys on a fairly regular basis. But I'm saying even ones that haven't passed away, but I got to hang out with. I was privileged enough to be able to hang out with several NHL players during my time in Detroit, and so it's pretty cool seeing people that I've had beers at the bar with and talking shit with, being commentators on a documentary. So that, again, that's another reason why it definitely gets an A- grade. Nice job, Cory.
Thank you, sir. I was kind of hoping it was going to be a softball. I wasn't too sure. But, like I said, all the points you just covered, I'm like, yeah, I think he might, especially a guy like Todd, would be able to see a little deeper than just, it's hockey. So yeah, I'm glad you were able to do that and enjoy it. So that makes me happy, buddy.
Spectacular.
I appreciate it.
Spectacular. It transcends hockey, and like I said, don't get me wrong. This is again, I can't, and this is not a boast or a brag or anything. It is so cool to see somebody in a documentary that's a legit documentary that you've actually interacted with.
Oh hell yeah, most definitely.
That is super cool.
Dude, trust me, I see Darren McCarty at all the Red Wings games, and when he's on TV, and I'm like, I remember being a kid at the Dearborn versus the Red Wings softball game, and getting to talk with him when I was a young kid, and in my hockey prime, and so yeah, now even seeing him, like, oh yeah, I got to sit with him and talk with him for a while.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. So great documentary, and like I said, the things that it teaches you that aren't hockey is amazing. Amazing.
Well, excellent, sir. And Bob.
Yes, sir.
You had what from who?
I had the contractor from Todd.
From me.
Yep. Now, this is the 2022 contractor, not to be confused with Wesley Snipes in the contractor, not to be confused with Danny Trejo in the contractor. This was 2022's.
Are there that many movies?
Yeah, there's a shit ton of contractor movies. They're not all the same story. But contractor seems to be one of those buzzwords in Hollywood that continues to pop up its ugly head.
Bob, wait a minute. I meant the 1978 with the hedgehog.
Okay, I'm going to mute Todd right now just for a second. This is the contractor from 2022 with Chris Pine.
With Ron Jeremy.
Chris Pine in the lead role. So I'm going to let's not bury the lead here, Todd. I'm going to give you a solid B- on this movie, and I'm going to explain why.
I'll take that.
So the contractor is Chris Pine obviously is the star of the movie. This is about he plays a U.S. Army Special Forces sergeant who ends up in a situation where he has to risk everything for his family by joining a private military contracting organization. And his main buddy, his link into the contracting organization, is played by Ben Foster. So I'm trying to leave spoiler for your review, but when I saw that it was going to be Chris Pine and Ben Foster in this movie, which I didn't know until I started watching it, I was like, oh, fuck, this is going to be amazing, because these two motherfuckers were in Hell or High Water with Jeff Bridges, which I fucking loved. And the two of them, I think, are incredible actors. And I'm like, I just fucking settled back into my chair. I'm like, pause. Let me get Let me get some snacks. Let me get something. I'm settling in for this bitch because I'm not going anywhere. This is going to be amazing. Todd knows me so well. And so I started watching the movie, and just to keep the spoilers at bay, what I will say is the movie itself leaves a lot to be desired. There were a lot of minor characters. One of them was in oh my gosh, he's been in so many other things. Eddie Marsan is a British actor who has been in fucking he was in Deadpool. He was in he was in what was the boxing series that happened? It's out of my brain now, but look him up. Eddie Marsan, fucking fantastic actor, makes everything that he's in better. But he played a minor character, and a lot of the supporting characters in this movie, like, they didn't give him anything to do. They brought them in, but there was no real, relevance to the plot or to the characters, and it was just a lot of wasted time. And so you're left with just the main plot featuring these two guys, Chris Pine and Ben Foster. And if you don't know who Chris Pine is, he played Captain Kirk in the reboot of Star Trek. He's played in tons of other shit as well. His dad was a famous actor who was in Chips once upon a time back in the 80s. And Ben Foster has been in tons of different shit as well. He's a super talented character actor. And
he's in the Statham movie, the not the contractor, the other.
Not the contractor.
The mechanic.
And
I can't think of the name of this.
And not one of the other contractor movies.
Mechanic.
But another guy,
Another
guy, just like Eddie Marsan, who makes every movie better. And so I was super excited. But so the plot left a lot to be desired. The dialogue left a lot to be desired. But I will say, the reason why I gave the movie a solid B, or did I say B minus? B minus.
You said B minus. I'll take the B minus.
The Chris Pine and Ben Foster did such a good job with taking what they were given and elevating it to the point where you believe that these two guys were brothers with a lot of history and a lot of conflict between them. And they took the dialogue that I'm not an actor, but I know enough about acting and movies to know that if you talk to an actor and you ask them, like, what's the one thing that disappoints you when you're, with any of the movies that you've done, they'll be like shitty dialogue. If I sign up for a movie and let's say I take the movie unseen because the director is somebody I've really wanted to work with, or like, oh, I'm Chris Pine, and like, oh, you've already signed Ben Foster to the movie, like, that guy's awesome. I'll do whatever he's in, sight unseen. Like, they don't even read the script. And then you get there and the script sucks and the dialogue isn't great. It's really, really difficult to do anything with that because you're a journeyman and you do what's on the page, and the page tends to dictate what you do in the movies. So, but these guys somehow managed to make me really like, there's one scene with Chris Pine where he's really in trouble and seemingly has nowhere else to go, and he has to pull it together because he knows that if I want to see my family again, like, I got to get out of here. And it was really, really good. Like, one of the best things I've ever seen him do. So that's why I give it a B minus. The acting alone, those two guys, totally worth it for me. Not a waste of time. I enjoyed it. I would watch it again, but just as a caution, like, if you're not familiar with those two guys, you're like, I fucking hate Chris Pine, or Ben Foster can suck a dick.
And Kiefer too. You forgot Kiefer.
Yeah, but again, he's a supporting character who, as I said before, they don't give him anything to do.
Yeah.
They do, and he's relevant to the plot, especially to the to the denouement on the end. But again, it's fucking Kiefer Sutherland. Like, how many minutes was he on screen? I bet I could count him. Less than my fingers on one hand.
I'm with you. Actually, so here's a funny thing too, but I'm learning something. This is good. So I'll take the B minus, Bob, because My big thing is I thought when there was action in that movie, even though just some little bits of it were John Wick-esque, the action was action packed.
Yeah, 100% agreed. They definitely they sent Chris Pine to military training class if he hadn't already taken it, but they definitely coached him on how to be a covert op out on an assignment. So
yep.
So yeah,
action packed. I like it.
If you like any of the actors that we've mentioned on the show in that movie, definitely check it out.
Love it. Thank you.
All right. New assignments for next week. Just by virtue of the fact that
I had both of you.
You did, but the last one you got was Cory. That means that
Cory.
I got Todd.
I get you.
Todd's got Cory, and Cory's got me.
Oh, perfect.
So Cory gets two in a row for me.
Well, he's had 2 in a row from you, Chaos and the Righteous Gemstones. Or you're saying it should be the other way around? You're saying I should
keep it the same
You're
way.
right. No, that's a good point.
No, I should get Bob.
No.
Well, if you get me, then I have to get
should
Cory.
get
So
Bob.
all right, so we're switching it. That means I got Cory, Cory's got Todd, and Todd's got me.
Son of a bitch. Then I have Todd 3 times in a row.
No.
Twice in a row.
No, once in a row. I had the 3 before you.
Yeah.
I had 3 assignments before you.
I don't like this one.
Well, I think it's fair. If we're going by fairness, I think that's the fair. So thanks,
Todd,
for swaying everything.
Yeah, thanks, Todd.
Welcome.
All right, who
I'm torn though.
Who wants to fucking go first?
I have two. I think 2 good ones. Bob, have you seen Heretic?
Heretic?
Yep.
Who's in that? Please tell me you know.
Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant.
No, I definitely have not.
You got that. I wanted to assign you Adolescence, but I'm going to give you this one right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because since you want to see some good acting,
I love some good acting.
There you go.
Cory, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I got to give you Mississippi Burning.
Okay.
Ooh.
Because Gene Hackman,
that's a good.
God rest his soul, passed away. And we had just been talking about this. That I went back to watch it because I hadn't seen it since it came out, and it was so good. I forgot how good it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Cory,
Duke advances, gentlemen. Sorry,
Duke beat Alabama
85-65.
Holy, that's a woodshedding, dude.
Duke is Duke.
Duke will Duke, I guess. But I think we all picked Duke, right? Cory, did you pick Duke?
I'm pretty sure I did.
All right, yeah. I think most right thinking people pick Duke in that setup. All right, so
Duke
Cory, what do you got? Duke go to Duke. Cory, what do you got for Todd?
All right, I'm gonna make a ballsy move here and do back-to-back hockey documentaries.
Fuck me. You're going to regret all those positive hockey type things you just said, Todd.
No, again,
it better be good.
You get a goon?
Because again,
no.
I've already seen that.
Oh, okay.
Todd, Russian 5.
Okay. I'll watch it. I'm interested because actually it's funny you assigned that to me because Sergei Fedorov is episode 2. And while it was really, really cool because all his highlights from his heyday and his prime are very, very familiar to me because shit, I was at a bunch of those games, actually met him in person, I actually bought him a beer. And so again, somebody known to me. But he is exactly as robotic in the series as he is seemed in person. So I'm curious to see if all the Russians are robots.
So
the robots.
And this was actually something that myself, Danielle, and Bob went to see a premiere screening of it in Ann Arbor when it came out. And the director is actually from Michigan. And he was there and did a Q&A afterwards. And there's not too many documentaries I will watch over and over again. This is one of them that I've watched several times.
Okay, well, then I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited because it's like When I was 3, I was sent away. When I was 16, someone make jokes, say, want to play in NHL? I say, okay, be fine.
Dude, yeah, there's
then I
a
go
lot
to
of
NHL and kick ass.
There's a lot of stuff in here that you are blown away how the NHL used to work back, quote unquote, back in the day.
Once upon a time.
Yeah. So,
well, because one of the things I will say, that's one of the things why I think they should do fewer things than the other one. I would love to, because it's like us, and then he defected. I'm like, they should spend 45 minutes on how he defected. And
the defection process. That would be pretty fascinating.
This covers a lot more of that.
Okay, good. Then I'm excited.
All right,
excellent.
Whew, I knew that was a ballsy move, but
hey, how many times have we had it where the first choices were all unseen? No going back to the drawing board.
That is true.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
Not very often at all.
Yeah, not anymore anyway. All right, boys, you ready to wrap it up?
Sounds like a plan, sir.
All right,
let's do it.
Thank you for joining, everybody. On behalf of Cory and Todd, this is Bob saying we'll see you next weekend. Peace out, everybody. Take care of yourselves.
See you.